The quiet suburbs of Coon Rapids, Minnesota, are usually a sanctuary of peace. But on January 26, 2024, that peace was shattered by a calculated and cold-blooded tactical deception. A navy blue Nissan Altima slows to a crawl as it approaches 94th Avenue Northwest. Inside, three individuals are not just passengers, they are catalysts for a nightmare. Two of them emerge wearing professional-grade brown uniforms, perfectly mimicking UPS delivery drivers. Every detail is intentional: the clipboard, the gate, the focus. They aren't just walking to a door, they are infiltrating a fortress of domestic safety. Inside, a family of 5 is going about their morning, unaware that their lives are about to be measured in seconds. The father, Mario, the mother, Shannon, and their children are the targets of a robbery so meticulously planned it borderlines on a military strike. Notice the way the suspects check their surroundings, a classic pre-attack indicator in law enforcement training, looking for witnesses or security cameras before the breach. As the suspects approach the threshold, we see a strategic pause. In the world of criminal psychology, this is the point of no return. Even as we transition to a brief word from our sponsors, the gravity of this situation remains. When you face an unexpected life-altering event, much like the victims in this house, the legal path forward is a labyrinth. Insurance companies are built to protect their bottom line, often offering settlements that are a mere fraction of what a victim truly deserves. This is where Morgan & Morgan steps in. With over 1,000 attorneys nationwide, they operate on a contingency fee basis, meaning they only get paid if you win. In cases of negligence or serious injury, having a legal titan in your corner can mean the difference between financial ruin and total recovery. Whether it's a car accident or a workplace injury, the goal is justice, and justice requires professional intervention. Now, as we return to the frozen frame of 94th Avenue, the deceptive delivery is about to turn into a volatile tactical encounter. The victim answers the door, a mundane act of daily life that has now become a gateway for violence. The suspects utilize a compliance through deception tactic. By appearing as delivery workers, they lower the homeowner's psychological defenses. Watch the suspect's hands. He is managing the clipboard with one hand while the other remains near his waistband, a high-stress position ready for a draw. The victim is calm, gesturing naturally, completely unaware that his sanctuary has been breached. As the door opens wider, the dynamic shifts instantly. The suspects abandon the facade. The physical non-compliance of the victims is met with immediate tactical aggression. A third suspect, previously lurking in the vehicle, is waved in. This is a coordinated home invasion structure designed to overwhelm the occupants through numbers and speed, a concept known as surgical violence in tactical circles. They move with a chilling sense of purpose, clearing rooms and securing the occupants with cold efficiency. Inside the residence, the situation escalates into a high-stakes extortion. The mother, exhibiting incredible presence of mind under extreme duress, manages to dial 911. She doesn't speak to the dispatcher directly. She leaves the line open. This is a critical tactical move. It allows the dispatchers to record the raw audio of the crime in progress, providing contemporaneous evidence that is nearly impossible for a defense attorney to refute in court. We hear the suspects demanding money. Their voices are elevated, filled with adrenaline-induced aggression. They are looking for a high-yield payoff, but their patience is thinning. One suspect mentions Mario, indicating this may not be a random hit, but a targeted follow-home or known target robbery. The presence of young children in the room adds a layer of psychological torture to the physical threat. The suspects use the family's bond against them, threatening the 20-year-old son to coerce the parents into revealing the location of their valuables. The dialogue captured on the 911 line is harrowing. "Give me the money." One suspect growls, his voice echoing a lack of empathy associated with antisocial personality disorder. The mother pleads, her voice cracking but steady enough to offer whatever they want. This is total compliance strategy used by victims to preserve life, but in this case, the suspects are volatile. The father, Mario Alberto Cho Estrada, is confronted. Despite the victims handing over what they have, the suspects feel the yield is insufficient. This is a disproportional response, common in high-stress criminal encounters. Without warning, a single shot is fired. This is a tactical execution. There was no struggle, no imminent threat to the suspects, just a cold-blooded decision to eliminate a witness. The sound of the gunshot on the 911 recording is a definitive forensic marker. It marks the transition from an aggravated robbery to a first-degree homicide. The air in the house changes. The screams of the family are the only sounds filling the void left by Mario's sudden absence. The violence does not stop with Mario. In a spree of tactical eliminating, The intruders turned their weapons on Shannon and her son, Jorge. In legal terms, this is aggravated homicide, where the cruelty exceeds the standard definition of murder. What's truly haunting is the surveillance footage showing the suspects attempting to destroy evidence. They are seen touching surfaces, possibly leaving DNA, but they are also aware of the cameras. One suspect is seen trying to manipulate the recording equipment, a futile effort given the cloud-based redundancy of modern security systems. Meanwhile, the most heartbreaking moment occurs. The toddler, barely old enough to understand death, instinctively pulls his younger sibling away from the sight of their fallen mother. This is innate protective behavior. The trauma inflicted on these children is immeasurable. The suspects flee, leaving behind a scene of absolute devastation, believing they have left no witnesses, unaware that the 911 dispatcher has been listening to every breath, every scream, and every shot. Law enforcement arrives minutes later, transitioning the scene from a hot zone to a rescue operation. Officers enter with high-ready weapon postures, their muzzles sweeping the environment to ensure no threats remain. This is standard LEO procedure. Neutralize, secure, treat. The body cam footage captures the raw tension. An officer spots a male down in the entryway, Mario, and immediate blood loss is visible. The priority shifts to the living. "Come here, kid," the officer says, his voice shifting from tactical command to a soothing, paternal tone. This is the dual role of modern policing, being a warrior 1 second and a guardian the sow. The officers find the toddlers. One is still in a diaper, standing amidst a nightmare. The rescue of these children is a delicate, tactical extraction. Notice how the officers shield the children's eyes as they carry them out, a deliberate act to minimize secondary trauma. The house is secured, and the confirmation of a triple homicide is relayed over the radio, turning the residence into one of the largest crime scenes in Minnesota history. The investigation moves with lightning speed. Using the automatic license plate recognition, ALPR system, and local surveillance, investigators trace the navy blue Nissan Altima to Alonzo Pierre Mingo. Within hours, the fugitive task force has his residence in Fridley under surveillance. When Mingo is spotted, the arrest is a high-risk vehicle stop. But Mingo is just one piece of the puzzle. Through forensic digital analysis and DNA found at the scene, likely from the surfaces touched during the robbery, the Schumpert brothers, Omari and Demetrius, are identified. This is the power of multi-agency coordination. The evidence isn't just physical, it's digital. Cell phone pings place all three suspects at the scene during the exact time of the 911 call. The narrative they built to hide their tracks is crumbling under the weight of technical certainty. Now, the battle moves from the streets to the interrogation room, where the suspects will face a cognitive interview designed to break their alibi. Inside the interrogation room, we see a masterclass in read technique application. The detective is calm, establishing a baseline before dropping the weight of the evidence. The suspect, one of the Schumpert brothers, employs defensive body language, crossing his arms, avoiding eye contact, and giving short, dismissive answers. "Do you know Lonzo?" the detective asks. The suspect lies a low-confidence denial, but the detective already has the photos. In the US, the Frazier versus Cupp ruling allows law enforcement to be deceptive during interrogations to elicit the truth. The detective plays on the suspect's ego and fear. He mentions the big dog comment captured on the audio. This is a specific knowledge indicator. Only someone inside the house would know that was said. The suspect's breathing becomes shallow, a physiological stress response. He tries to pivot, claiming he was home with his child. But the detective counters with the timeline paradox. You can't be at home in Minneapolis and in a driveway in Coon Rapids at the same time. The evidence is insurmountable, and the suspect knows it. The suspect continues to struggle against the web of evidence. "Why would I say that? What does that mean?" he asks, attempting linguistic deflection. But the detective stays focused. He points out the suspect's distinct voice, a biometric marker that is as unique as a fingerprint in the eyes of a jury. The suspect tries to use his baby mama as an alibi, a common social shield tactic. However, investigators have already cleared her. She didn't support his story. The detective offers water not just out of kindness, but as a compliance test. If a suspect accepts a small favor, they are more likely to provide a larger confession later. This is psychological priming. The suspect stares at the still photos of himself in the UPS uniform. The cognitive dissonance is visible on his face. He is looking at himself committing a triple murder while trying to maintain he wasn't there. The interrogation concludes not with a bang, but with the silent realization that his life as a free man has effectively ended. The legal system moved with the same relentless efficacy as the investigation. Initially charged with second-degree murder, the gravity of the crimes led to an indictment of first-degree premeditated murder. Alonzo Pierre Mingo, the gunman, was the first to face the scale of justice. In September 2025, a jury found him guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, the ultimate penance in a state without the death penalty. Demetrius and Omari Shumpert followed. The prosecution highlighted the aggravating factors: the presence of children, the tactical deception, and the cruel and unusual nature of the executions. By late 2025, all three men were effectively removed from society, ensuring they would never again walk the streets of Minnesota. For the family of Mario, Shannon, and Jorge, justice provides a closing chapter, but the scars on the survivors, especially the two young children, will remain a testament to a day when evil wore a delivery uniform and met the unwavering resolve of the law.